Welcome back, my friends. Another beautiful Sunday and another amazing show just around the corner. We're going to start the journey to 2,000 views right away, but first I got to stop you as always and ask for your help to helpbexy.com. And Help Next from the North kids get noticed south of the border by simply hitting subscribe. We're getting the views, we're getting the watch hours. What we're missing is the subscriptions, and it is free, my friends. All you have to do is click on that little red button and you're in. It's that simple. There's no cost, there's no spam, and there is no membership needed. All you got to do is click that button and help me help kids at Bexy.com and Next from the North. Another great show, and our journey to 2000 starts right now. Talking ball with bags from gap to gap and coast to coast. This is episode number 8. Yeah, talk about it, my friends. 8 episodes in, and we're going to do it all again with a couple of amazing guests, young studs. Luke Wilson from the Calgary Bucks and Tugboat. That's right, Matt Wilkinson from the Okotoks Dawgs. We'll get to them in just a little bit. First, I want to talk some ball like we always do. And man, there's a lot to talk about as we are now a good solid month into the MLB season. There's so many things about this season so far that have just been a little bit off the wall. The rule changes, of course, the extra inning stuff that just man, if you're a purist, you're one of those people that likes the classic game. Certainly, you have a problem with the way things are going in extra innings. The 7 inning double headers certainly came to a head about a week ago when Madison Bumgarner threw a no hitter with an asterisk. Yeah, that's right. He did it. Finished the game as it was scheduled by MLB. It's a 7 inning game, and care how you do. Think about it how you will. It's a no hitter, but it's not a true no hitter. As you know, that's a 9 inning thing. And with the new rules and the 7 inning doubles, he goes no hits through 7, and now his name goes in the record books with an asterisk. So again, interesting things that are being played out. The umpires. Does it appear to you guys that perhaps the umpires are um, tanking it, so to speak? All the news about the potential for robots and such, leading them down a weird road because, good Lord, there has been some awful calls so far this season. Calls that have affected games. The play just the other day where the guy called out for running down the line and being blocked by the pitcher who was nowhere near him, and the guy is called out or called safe. My bad. Um, a play that literally wouldn't have been called at any other time in any other season, but for some reason now is getting called this year. I'm not sure exactly what's going on. The balls and strikes are atrocious. We used to give Angel Hernandez all the grief in the world as quite possibly the worst ball and strike caller of all time. Now it appears everybody else has jumped on the same bandwagon and are equally as atrocious at calling balls and strikes. So, wherever you stand regarding this issue, I, for one, believe we need to get it right on balls and strikes because this is a deeply affecting the game situation where if an umpire is bad on the balls and strikes, for the hitter, he's now expanding his zone, swinging at pitches he shouldn't, and in turn, probably making weak contact because he's protecting a zone that isn't truly in the zone. If he's bad for the pitcher's throwing absolute paint and is unable to get the call and thus is getting lit up when he normally shouldn't be because he's not getting the calls he should. So for my money, it's robots for the balls and strikes only. And we can still have the guy behind the plate. He can have the clicker in his hand, the buzzer, whatever you want. The Astros did it. They did. The buzzer works, right? At the end of the day, we're going to get the calls right, and we're going to find out whether or not the pitchers really are dominating the hitters as it appears they seem to be, or are we simply just getting more bad calls and thus making the hitters look worse? I think it's a combination of the two, because oh man, you talk about Jeff Fry a little bit. She Gone Nation is a thing that he started up, and man, he is all over social media, talking about launch angle, talking about the inability to make solid contact on a regular basis, because everybody's trying to hit bombs all day, every day, and as a result, MLB has the lowest batting average in about 100 years, going into month two as we just get started with that this past weekend. 232 is the major league average for hitters, which is bogglingly low. It's really, really bad. And as a result, for my money, the game's getting boring. Who wants to watch K's? Nobody, I think. Sure, bombs are fun. We love to see the ball leave the ballpark, but there's lots of other ways to continue to add excitement to the game. Where's the hit and run? Where's the move the runners along so the guy can be driven in? Putting more runs on the board, getting more guys on base. When did that stop? Where all it is now is swing for the fence, K or bomb, and nothing really in between. It seems as though there's fewer and fewer 300 hitters every single year. And as a result, the game seems to drag along. Again, the bombs are fun. Everybody loves them. The bat flips, the entertainment value of it, no question. But there's got to be a happy medium when it comes to swinging the bat and putting the bat on the ball. Team at bats, where did that go? Where the guy was, where you're first and second, less than 2 outs, and he's got to put the ball in play to the right side. When did that stop? When did the shift become so easy to execute? Because every single guy hits into it. There's a wide open field on the other side that you can go directly to, but very few guys do. Why? Because they're trying to hit it out of the ballpark. It all plays hand in hand, and it's not a question of changing the rules. It's a question of changing the mindset of the hitters to understand that it's more important to move your runners and have a great team at bat than it is to hit the ball out of the ballpark. The other thing that is driving me absolutely bananas right now is the IL. Cal Ripken played 2,632 games consecutively. Just think about that number for a very short second. 2,632 games without missing one. Whew. Now, I hear all the time about how managers are trying to manage the load on these players. It's April, just turned May, and we're talking about needing to give guys days off. It's baseball, for goodness sakes. Baseball, a sport where you, for the most part, are stationary for a good portion of the game. You come to the plate 4, maybe 5 times, and you need a day off because you work too hard. And, man, we got to protect that body. We got to keep you off the IL. Give me a break. You've got to get on the field and play 162 games. Cal Ripken, 2,632 consecutive ball games. And we are concerned with giving a guy a day off less than a month into the season. That in itself is a major issue with baseball today. Get on the field, play the game. If you're in the American League, for goodness sakes, at least you can DH and continue to play. Secondly, IL. I think the worst thing that happened to Major League Baseball, apart from some of the rule changes, is the evolution of the 10-day IL. It seems as though now, as soon as you feel a tinge in your quad or a slight discomfort in your hip, or in the case of Hyunjin Ryu, a slight discomfort in your gluteus. In other words, sore butt, 10-day IL. The evolution of the 10-day IL is leading to virtually every single player hopping on the 10-day as soon as they have some discomfort. It's becoming very soccer-like. I'm not going to lie. The ability to fight through pain seems to have gone the way of level swing line drives the other way. And it's unfortunate too, because guess what? Entertainment value, which seems to be Rob Manfred's number one priority, is diminished when our superstars are on the IL. You're allowing few people into the stands, and if they are the fortunate ones that actually get in and their superstars are not there because they're on the IL with a slightly not torn, slightly pulled buttocks muscle. How's that look? How's it for the people that actually found a way to get in the stadium and watch their favorite players go? It's a big problem. It is truly a big problem. I don't think the training staffs have changed. I don't think the training regiment has changed. But what has changed is the players' desire to fight through pain to stay on the field. They are also concerned with their multi-million-dollar deals and their pending free agency that they are unwilling to risk injury for the good of their team. So, how do we change it? I don't know. What I do know is the 10-day as compared to the previous 14-day has made a big difference, and guys are readily willing and able to get on that IL at virtually no cost to them. And as a result, we're missing our stars on a very regular basis. Man, rant over with regards to the sniveling a little bit of our favorite stars of the MLB. Some pleasant surprises so far this season. The Kansas City Royals, for my money, the truly number one story with regards to low payroll and big results. We've gone through Tampa Bay last year, Oakland regularly, and it's pretty cool to see these small market, low budget teams do well. The Pirates, 500 as of 1 month into the season. Who possibly could have seen that coming? The NL East, all under 500. Bunch of big spenders in there. The Phillies, the Mets spent a lot of money and continue to hang out in the world of mediocrity, gently below the 500 mark. Yankees struggling. Gotta love that. Again, big spender, low money. Best story of the year so far with regards to rivalry. Nobody could deny what's going on with the Padres and the Dodgers is exceptional, entertaining beyond all belief. The Bauer Tatis thing is amazing and is going to go on clearly for years to come as these two teams battle for supremacy in not only the NL West, but in the league itself. And I love the antics and how great that Trevor Bauer has embraced it. said, "You bet. You know what, Tatis? You light me up. You go ahead and do the things that you're doing. I love it." And kudos to him for understanding the entertainment value that that brings and how much fun it is for us as fans to watch every single Padre Dodger game. We're going to look forward to those battles for many, many years to come. We're getting close to month 2 as we kick it off with May, and I think we'll start to see some of the teams that are struggling early find their way back. And again, some of these great stories, we hope they hang on, but chances are they will also come back to the pack a little bit. So it's fantastic. It's on. The weather starts to get great. The vaccines are now in all the players, I believe. So we shouldn't see any more COVID interruptions. And as time goes on this summer, we will start to see the stadiums fill more and more and more. The only one that obviously breaks our heart is that the Toronto Blue Jays continue to have to play south of the 49th parallel. They will move to Buffalo shortly. Unfortunately, not to the Rogers Center, where each of us in Canada would love to watch them play with this unbelievably exciting young roster. So, that was fun. We're talking ball. Haven't done it for a while, and we are ready for a couple amazing guests just around the corner. We'll get with Luke Wilson and Tugboat right after this. Thanks for stopping by. You're talking ball with Bex from Gap to Gap and Coast to Coast. You are talking ball with Bex from Gap to Gap and Coast to Coast. It is time once again to shine the spotlight on our future star of the week. Our next guest is quite the amazing young man. He has played some serious ball in this province. Started with the Calgary Junior Dinos organization, moved on to the Okotoks Dawgs, where they enjoyed unbelievable success. Now he's back with the Bucks, working hard towards a big-time college career. When you talk about 5 tools, my friends, this man's got 6, because we're going to add amazing student on top of speed, power, the ability to field it and throw it at the top level. We're super excited to have him on board again from the Calgary Bucks organization. We welcome Luke Wilson. How's it going, buddy?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, absolutely. It's a blast to have you on. We miss you down in the Okotoks area, but I know you're doing good things back up in Calgary and certainly on your way to an amazing college career. What have you been up to this last year?
I mean, not a lot with COVID hitting everything, but we're putting in as much work as we can and doing a lot of at home stuff, and then finally allowed outside, getting as much practice as we can in.
Yeah, no doubt. What kind of stuff have you been able to do? I know everybody's tried to find their own niche this past year because you couldn't do it as a team. You had to find your own way. What kinds of stuff did you specifically do to try and get better over this difficult season?
I mean, early on, everything got shut down, so had to find our own way. We had Phil Curtis at the Bucks. He was running some workouts through Zoom. In terms of baseball stuff, had a tee, had a net, get that in, and then found an old mattress, threw that around, uh, did some throwing, tried to do some long toss, tried to do some defense with tennis ball, but just finding some creative ways to do things.
Yeah, what about the weights? Did you get a chance? Do you have anything at home you could work the weights?
um, Actually, I was like, I kind of just found some heavy stuff around, like water softener salt, big bags of those, use those. Yeah, just
It,
found some weird ways to do things.
it's like real life Flintstones this past year. Hey, everybody had
Yeah,
to find whatever they could to figure out how to get better. And you know, in a way, it actually separated the guys that really want to work towards it, because it would have been real easy to pack it in and say, "Hey, I'll
yeah.
get back when we're back." But for the guys that want it, the guys that are chasing it for real, they did what you did, and they found ways to get better. And as it comes now, do you feel like you did actually get some better out of you, or are you feeling like you lost a lot over the last year?
In most aspects, I felt like I still made that progress that I wanted to. I put on some good weight, still feeling fast, hitting still there. But you get back on the field and you're facing live pitchers, it's a lot different missing that whole year of gameplay.
Yeah, no doubt. One thing about this game is its timing, right? Timing is everything. And when you miss as much time in the live situation, for sure, it's real difficult to catch up to it early on. The pitchers are probably going to own you for the first month of the season.
Yeah, we're getting live in, but those first couple weeks, it's like everything looks like 95 coming at you. You got no idea where it's going.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk about the early stuff, Luke. I know you were in the Junior Dinos organization back when it still was called the Junior Dinos. Jeff Peach was a guy that sort of led you. Talk about the early years of your development, sort of the guys that helped you along the way, and who you look back on and say, "Hey, man, thanks for kicking it off for me at a young age."
Yeah, I joined the ABA Absolute Baseball Academy program, 13U. As soon as I turned 13, I was coached by Jeff Peach and Corey Curtis. They were great, welcomed me with open arms. I saw massive progress right there. Played my first year of club ball with the Junior Dinos and Pee Wee. Had a pretty good year, got a good start to it, and then hit the jump at Bantam, made the Bantam Black team with Jeff Peach again. And those two were just great coaches from the beginning. Led me as an athlete and as a kid. Really raised me into the kid I wanted to be, and owe a lot to them.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know that Jeff Peach gets enough credit for that side of it. Certainly gets criticized for different things, but for everything I know about him, he is a developer of young adults and just a great person, right? He's a guy that you can go to, you can chat with off the field, and at the end of the day, he makes great guys, and I'm a big fan of Jeff Peach for sure.
Yeah, he was great at that. Made some really great athletes, and then on the other side, they were great students and great young men.
Yeah, absolutely, buddy. Obviously, your parents have played a huge role because you're a tremendous student on top and get it as far as the importance of the school side because lots of people don't realize that baseball scholarships are not what lots of the other sports are, and you gotta have the scholastic side and make sure you hit the books hard. So clearly, they must have had an impact on you early on as well.
Yeah, they set the standard pretty quick. Ever since elementary, my sister, she got really good grades. I had to always looked up to her. It was grades first and then sports second. If I wasn't trying in school, I wasn't going to baseball. That's straightforward as it is. Like they checked in, always looking at my grades, making sure I was in class, focused in class, getting high grades that I can get. They pushed me to be the best guy I could be.
That's awesome. As it turns out, that will be the difference for you in the next couple of years as you start to get looked at by schools because they'll notice your talent first, of course, but then they'll see that you're a great student and some great money is going to come on the table for you for sure. Nevertheless, on you moved and decided to make the trip down south in our big city to Little Okotoks and the Dogs Academy. What was the draw? What was it that made you make the trip every day? Because I know that's quite a commute for your parents at the time and whoever else was driving you back and forth. What led you to the Okotoks Dawgs Academy?
Well, one day I got a call from Josh McInnes, and he asked me to just come down and see the facilities and have a talk about it. So sat down and met Alan Cox that day, Tyler Hollick. Josh showed me around with Alan. Went to a camp that one day. Got to see the amazing facilities. Met a couple of the guys. They were great guys, really good at baseball. I saw a practice. They were really competitive. Everyone was pushing each other. It was really good. Then I talked to Alan about that Bantam year we were going to have. There were high expectations, and then they followed through. So I thought it would be a great place to be down there, and the year turned out great.
Yeah, let's touch on that, Luke, for sure, because it was a legendary season. There's no question about it. From going undefeated in the regular to the tournaments that you guys went to, the Langley tournament, winning that, Best of the West, winning that trip to Nashville and touring the unbelievable Vanderbilt University organization, and then eventually coming back and winning the provincial title as well. Just speak to the season, what it meant to you, the types of kids that were on that team that just made it so unbelievably special.
Oh man, yeah, that was a great year. All the guys on that team had each other's back. We were all really close buddies on and off the field. I think everyone wanted to win. A guy, Connor Pope, Jose Nunez, they set the standards from day one. Said we're looking to win and we're looking to go as far as we can as a team. Um, we went over a ton of hurdles that year. We had a great leader, Lou Pote and Alan Cox, really led us through. But yeah, that regular season, everyone just pushed each other to be better, had some fun with it, went to some great tournaments, won some great tournaments. Uh, the trip to Nashville was awesome, and then I think we swept provincials too. Great team.
Yeah, great team, absolutely. You mentioned the two coaches, special guys for sure, and huge experience in the game of baseball through the years. Having a guy with a World Series ring, probably pretty cool for a young guy for sure. And then on the other side, Alan Cox, just one of the greatest people that we've ever met. Speak to both of the coaches, kind of what you learned from them, and what an impact they had on you in that amazing season.
Yeah, they were both great guys, great leaders. They really put the entire team under their wing and led us a lot. Lou, great guy. He knew how to win. He pushed all of us to win. Alan was just he's unreal. If you've ever played for him, if you've ever been around him, he's something else. He's gonna push everyone to be better, and then beyond that, and aside from that, he's gonna be your buddy. Like he's a great dude, and he's always gonna look out for you after you play for him. I still keep in contact with him. I know a ton of guys that still keep in contact with him. He's just an amazing guy.
Yeah, there's no question he's special in every way and hugely missed in Canada because he was a big part of T12. We'll get to that. A big part of the Dogs Academy, scouting players and all the rest. So it's pretty cool to know that lots of the guys are still touching base with Alan and continuing to learn from such a great individual. What about the dynamic of the team, Luke? It seemed like a pretty close group, but at the end of the day, you did have, I think, 19 guys on the roster. You traveled a ton, went to a lot of great places and great tournaments. How was the whole group having that many guys at such a young age and all the travel and with the success that you had? We'll get to the end of it in the next question. But yeah, speak to the dynamic of the team in general.
Yeah, I think we played over 50 games that year in such a short span. So it was a marathon. It was a grind. And then we had to find some way to get through it. So it was a lot easier to come together and get through it together than be separated and get through it as individuals. Everyone on the team, they had their part. They knew their part. They worked hard. Everyone, when they stepped up, when they knew what they were supposed to do, they killed it. I think that's why we didn't lose many games at all. Everyone knew what they were doing. But the travel, the high amount of games, the high amount of innings we had to get in with pitchers, a lot of at bats. I think everyone just knew that this was a great year to be together, and I think it was just a perfect storm for each other, and everyone trusts each other.
Yeah, no doubt. And then even picking up a couple of even more special guys to go to the national tournament that I'm not sure if you had or played with or met Gav before that tournament, but he's another great guy with a great talent and a great future ahead of him as well. Nonetheless, the season was amazing. The tournaments were amazing. You guys headed off to nationals. It didn't go as you had hoped. What'd you learn from the event itself? Going in with such high expectations, not following through on the end result that you were looking for. Just talk about the things you learned from that unbelievable experience at nationals.
Well, I think during the year, a lot of guys, when we showed up to the park, we expected to win. We knew we were going to win, so it wasn't much pressure. But as soon as we stepped on that field, like we couldn't have that same mindset. We had to go back on that grindstone, back killing it. Um, what I learned is that like nothing's for granted. You can't take anything for granted. If you show up and you think I'm gonna win, it's nothing. You're gonna get rolled, and we did. That's how it happened. And then the experience went by quick, and then you look back at it and you say, well, we still lost, but I could have enjoyed this more. Or I can take these out of the positives, and but I don't know, man. It's a tough thing to look back at, but with all the expectations we had on each other, just didn't fall out.
Yeah, it's baseball, right? In a one weekend tournament, man, anything can happen. Like literally anything can happen. And at the end of the day, do you feel like as a group you handled it pretty well? Did you lean on the experience of Lou and Alan as, again, they've been through it all. So did you guys lean on them, or did you feel like you handled it pretty well? The disappointment of not doing what you guys expected to do.
I mean, Alan and Lou were great. They gave us a talk after. Everyone kind of just were down, but we had one more night to spend together, and we had to enjoy it somehow. So everyone got together. We all had smiles on our face. It was a great time. I couldn't imagine doing it any other way, really, but it was a great night with each other. We all got to say goodbye proper ways, but no one likes losing. But
That's for sure, buddy. That is absolutely true. Did you guys know at that point that there was going to be a somewhat of an exodus of the program? Did everyone know that Alan was leaving? Did everyone know that multiple players were probably moving on from the program? Or was that just not talked about at all? You guys just enjoyed the night? Or did you actually have a clue that this was kind of the end of the road for this group as a whole?
I think partly we did. Not to the extent that I think it happened, but I think everyone kind of knew that like going into midget, we were never going to be the same team again. Guys were going to be split up. Coaches were going to be split up. We're never going to have the same Bantam experience again. It's only going to happen once. But I don't think anyone really wanted to talk about it. We just spent the night as boys together and had a great time.
Awesome. I'm sure there's some pretty good stories from that night.
Yeah, there is.
Maybe ones we won't share on the air.
Yeah, you gotta get Cole Carroll on that one.
Oh, no doubt. I could imagine that Cole was the ringleader of the entire evening for sure. So you guys came back, and again, there was a bit of an exodus from the program. First and foremost, Alan Cox leaving the program was a shock to everyone. That was a huge hit. But then a few of the players, including yourself, decided to head off to different pastures. You going back to the place you had been before. Others moving on to the Vauxhall Academy. Some staying with the Dogs. What led to your decision? And at the end of the day, are you satisfied that this was the right move for you and that you're onward and upwards to the next phase of your career?
Yeah, I'm I'm happy with my decision. I love being home. I like being with my family. It kind of just was a conversation that happened between me and my parents. Um, just wasn't the right time for me to be out there, so I came back home. Just got to spend a lot more time with my family, and then with COVID happened, so probably it was a good idea to get home. But yeah, it was just a decision of wasn't the right time for me to be down there, but I'm happy with my decision.
Yeah, for sure. It's another great program. There's no question about it. We have the benefit of multiple great programs in Southern Alberta. I mentioned Vauxhall, obviously the Dogs. The Bucks are another one. Redbirds. There's the Red Deer, St. Joe's Academy. There's even Lethbridge has a tremendous operation. So pretty great that you have multiple choices and the ability to pick whatever one suits you best. Being close to home, I'm sure, is amazing, and I'm sure that's helped the books as well. Is that true?
Oh, for sure. The school here is it's pretty academic. There's a lot of pressure on you, but they push you. You get really good grades at a really good academic level. Being at home, it's quite a lot easier to study. Uh, Baseball field's like 10 minutes away, so I can still get that homework time in. So yeah, definitely helped out.
Cool, man. It's junior year for you, and that's a big year in a young man's baseball life. Getting ready for the college situation. There's lots of things on the horizon. Talk about the excitement for 21, kind of what your goals are for this coming year, provided we get to play some games. I'm sure there'll be something in the way of games, but just talk about your goals in specific related to your progression as you head off to the next phase and the college life soon to follow.
I think everything from here on out is getting ready for college, getting the body, the mind, everything ready to get up into that next level. Um, Hopefully, we get that season in this year. Hopefully, I can face some pretty good competition this year. I'm hearing some good things out of Red Deer, some good things out of Lethbridge. My team, I think we got a great group of guys. We're really going to make a great year. Everyone's pushing each other, everyone's getting better. But yeah, from here on out, it's just getting ready to go down there and push myself to get into a great college career and maybe get drafted.
Yeah, that's that's a hell of a goal for sure. Are you starting to reach out to some schools, Luke? Have you got some in mind that you're trying to get in touch with?
Yeah, definitely been putting in that work, getting a ton of emails out, getting video. Got some preliminary conversations going, just gathering as much information as I can. And then next year we're gonna have to make a decision.
Yeah, no question. And what does that look like for you? What's there's a dream school, of course, but where's your head at as far as what the fit for you is at the college level?
I think I want to go to a place where they push their guys and you go in there as one guy and you come out even better. Um, I've been looking around a lot of schools at those top tier JUCOs. They send guys onto those really high Power Five schools, TCU, Vanderbilt, schools like that one. But I just want a school. I'm gonna show up. I'm put my work in. I got guys around me pushing me, and I'm pushing them. We're all getting better together, and then hopefully win some games, and all of us get pushed on to the next level.
Yeah, and you got to think playing time's important too, right? It's one thing to go to a Power Five school early in your career, but if you're gonna ride for a couple of seasons and not get any reps, that doesn't benefit you at all, right?
Yeah, that's why I think most of the schools I've been looking at are junior colleges, great 2 year schools, lower roster. Guys come in, they get sent on. It's good competition too. A lot of Canadians go down there, and then they find some really good success. Like Aiden Macris, he's killing it down there.
Was just gonna say that name actually.
Yeah, he's doing some unreal stuff. Some other guys down there, they're killing it, and then they're gonna get either drafted or put into a really good school. It's just a grind down there for 2 years.
Yeah, and what many Canadians don't understand is the level of ball played at the JUCO level down there is absolutely serious. Like, it's not a very small step below, D1, D2 baseball. It's college ball in America is college ball in America, and if you get a chance to play it at any level, it's a huge win for the your career and just the experience itself playing college baseball in the USA.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. How about some other goals, Luke? I know there's a couple of things that you probably have had your eyes on. If we get the opportunity to qualify for it again, talk about the excitement about potentially playing T12. I know that's something on pretty much every Canadian ball player's horizon.
Yeah, I was hoping to make the team last year, and then didn't happen. But yeah, it's a massive goal for all the guys in here. I know the guys on my team. We're all going to try and make that T12 roster, play on Rogers Center in front of a ton of scouts, playing the best competition in Canada. I'm just going to push myself to be the best I can and go out there and show my stuff.
Yeah, it's a special event for sure, and as you mentioned, the exposure of it just gulfs anything else that you can do in this country for sure. Bar one, and that would be probably the ultimate goal of each and every Canadian, and that's to pull the maple leaf over your head and potentially play junior national team. Talk about your goal for that and how much that would mean to you to put on our country's colors.
I mean, and that's the top goal, man. If I can get on that team, just putting on that jersey, getting to represent our nation, the country I grew up in, the country I love, be a great opportunity, great experience. Talked to a couple guys that are playing on that team, Simone down in Dogs. It's an unreal experience. I'd love to go. It's going to take a lot of work and a lot of dedication, getting a lot better, but it's still the dream.
Yeah, it is the ultimate dream for sure, buddy. I know you do kind of everything very well on the baseball field, Luke. Tell potentially listeners that may see you in the future, what do you see yourself doing most at the baseball level? Are you going to throw it? Are you gonna play infield, outfield? Are you gonna, is hitting your thing? What is it that drives you to the ballpark every day?
Well, I usually put my hitting in priority. If I can hit, I'm going to play. I have enough athleticism. I've done practice at a lot of positions, so as long as I'm hitting middle of the order, I'm getting good contact, getting up some good numbers, I'm going to play a lot. So a lot of my work is towards that swing, getting a big power swing, getting those hands through. But that's usually my thing. That's my tool.
And what about positionally? What if a college coach called you today and said, "Where do you see yourself on the field?" Where it would be your first and quick answer?
I've played outfield for a long time now. Um, I love outfield, but catching is a lot of fun too.
Hmm.
That would be real hard to debate through.
Yeah, interesting because Laurent Smith, who is the featured guest on this episode, uh, didn't really have a place on the field. His bat spoke volumes. That's what got him drafted. But then he was drafted to catch. Had never caught a day in his life since Little League. But they drafted him to catch, and it's such a demanding position. So interesting that you said catcher, because at the end of the day, if you do want to get drafted, it's a tremendous position to get drafted from because it's weak for the most part. The position is very light in talent. So it's certainly something that could lead to getting you drafted potentially against a million outfielders or a very few handful of catchers.
Yeah, for sure. Like growing up, yeah, I don't know many people that wanted to catch, especially in club ball. But I like it. I think it's a lot of fun. It's a good challenge too. You get to work your brain too. You got to call pitches. You got to know your entire team. Uh, I find it a lot of fun.
Yeah, no doubt. Being the quarterback out there is certainly something to be said for that. Um, it's exciting times for you, Luke. I know that, and I'm praying that we get some season again because you are on the precipice of something very, very big. The T12 stuff, the Team Canada stuff, the high-level JUCO stuff. All of that is certainly on the horizon for you. I've been awesome chatting with you, my friend, catching up again. We miss you down here in Okotoks, but I know you're doing great things back up in Calgary, home where you belong, and looking forward to an amazing 2021. So, Luke, thank you for coming on, my friend, and all the best in the upcoming season.
And thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, cheers, buddy.
You too.
Hey, what a good guy. That was young superstar of the future from the Calgary Bucks, Luke Wilson. Our thanks to him for stopping by, talking ball with Bex, and we wish him all the best in 2021 and moving forward into what promises to be an incredible college career. We got Tugboat standing by right after these quick messages. Stick with us. It's a fun ride. On a Sunday, you're talking ball with Bex from Gap to Gap and Coast to Coast. I want to take a quick second to talk to you about Next from the North and the impact that this is having on some amazing Canadian projectable talent. We started this project about 6-7 weeks ago, and a few lucky young kids joined the program, and they are reaping the rewards now. Just this past week, I had conversations with 7 schools about one of our first joiners of the program, Mr. Connor Macris, and he is now entertaining offers from schools that you would never have thought of otherwise. Schools in places like Michigan and North Carolina, places like Boston, Massachusetts, and West Virginia. It is awesome. The impact again, and the coaches that are starting to recognize Next from the North as a true and honest player in the recruiting world. So all you got to do is log on to Bexy.com, scroll down to Next from the North, and hit Get Noticed Now. Questionnaire pops up, you fill it out, you're in. It's free. That is it. And then we go to work for you. It is as simple as that, my friends. We'll find you deals that you wouldn't find anywhere else. So make sure you get on there today. It's Next from the North at Bexy.com. You are talking ball with Bex from Gap to Gap and Coast to Coast. We have a second Future Star of the Week this week, a special treat, another stellar lefty southpaw stud from the Okotoks Dawgs Academy, affectionately known as Tugboat to all his friends. We welcome the incredible Matt Wilkinson to the show. Welcome, buddy. How's everything going?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Fantastic, man. Thanks a lot for stopping by and talking a little ball with Bex. How you been handling the COVID world? I know it's been tough on everybody. I know we've been on again, off again with practice schedules and such. You guys were full on for a bit, now back to a little bit of restricted access. Just talk about how you've managed yourself over the last year.
It's definitely been tough. It's hard to deal with, but especially living in Alberta, the weather's not always great all the time. So that's almost anywhere in Canada, but I'm happy to be in Alberta at the moment just because all the Ontario kids are in lockdown, Quebec, so they don't really get the chance to practice as much as we do at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. And you're part of a pretty amazing program that's got some facilities that let you get to work even when everybody else is in the lockdown. Is that right?
Yeah.
For sure. Talk about the dogs, Tug. You've been part of the program for a good few years now. You made a big decision as a young lad to head out from BC.
Yeah.
Let's go back there, actually, and tell me about sort of the early days of your career and what led you to decide to head east to Alberta and the Okotoks Dawgs Academy at such a young age.
Well, when I was playing Little League in White Rock, my buddy Alejandro decided to not play on my Little League team that ended up going to the Little League World Series and played for Calgary, the team that goes to the Calgary World Series, and the Okotoks Dawgs saw him there. And then he decided to come here, and me and him have always been best friends since I think we were 10 years old. So, and then he said it was the place to be. I came on my visit, and the rest is history.
It was an easy decision then, obviously.
Easy, yeah.
Yeah, what was it that sort of drew you outside of Alejandro when you made your visit? What were the things that said, yeah, this is where I got to be?
Facilities for sure. Also, listening to Duda, Hollick, and Val, and Cox, especially Lou as well, Joe as well too. Just the baseball minds they have. I just knew they would take me to the next level, and they have.
Yeah, no question. When did you know that this was what you wanted to do, Tug? Obviously, you figured it out pretty early by making the decision to leave home and head out here to play ball. When did you know that baseball was your thing and it was going to be your future?
After the Little League World Series, playing in front of that many people, getting the adrenaline that I got, and doing as well as I did. Just loved baseball ever since, and I took it seriously from there.
Yeah, was it always pitching for you, or was there ever a time that you swung the bat too?
I could hit a little bit, but then as soon as the velo started going up, I couldn't really hit that much anymore.
You've been PO for quite a few years then?
Yeah, it's my third year now.
All right. Yeah, that's cool. Well, clearly a great decision because your stuff is filthy, to say the very least. For those who don't know, this man, he's 90s. He has got ridiculous sink and a dirty slide piece, and those things add up from the left side to be pretty amazing for his future in this amazing game. I want to talk about sort of some of the things that have gone on with dogs for you, Tug. Before COVID, you guys went on some unbelievable trips, and I'm sure there's some highlights you want to mention along the way. Certainly, the Perfect Game Nationals was something you want to talk about for sure.
Yeah, for sure. It was one of my best up there for best baseball experiences. Competition was really good, especially just being in Florida. Weather's awesome. Personally, I didn't play as best as I knew I could. I didn't do as well, but it was fun to see the whole team tear it up as well. Yeah.
For the listeners that don't know, the Dogs went to Perfect Game Nationals down in Florida and won the whole damn thing. Pretty sure you guys went undefeated. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a remarkable thing for this small town team in southern Alberta to go to the biggest tournament in America and win the thing without losing a single game. It's just remarkable in every way. Also, you went on an incredible trip across the West Coast, Tug, where you visited some unbelievable schools, played some huge programs. Talk about that experience and everything that happened on the West Coast tour.
That was definitely a once in a lifetime opportunity. Seeing all the Division I programs and just the facilities they have. We got to go through the football stadiums, their locker rooms, the weight rooms, all that type of stuff. And it's just like, wow, this is what you could do possibly one day. It makes you want to work hard and hopefully get there one day.
No question. Talk about some of the hitters you had to face that you had never seen before.
Yeah, it was definitely an eye opener for sure. I did pretty well, but it was definitely had to work in more of the off speed, like the 86 to 88 fastball doesn't blow by college guys anymore.
No. Certainly not at the types of schools that you guys went to. I think it was you went to Gonzaga, right? UW, Seattle U, is that right?
Yeah.
And then down into the Oregons and all the way down into California too. Just an incredible journey for sure. Do you have some special memories, something that stood out from the trip that you can share with the listeners?
When I pitched against Oregon State, I only gave up 2 runs over 5 innings. Yeah, 7 strikeouts.
That's a pretty good one, no question. At the time, Oregon State was one of the top 10 ranked schools in America. So, hell of an experience for sure. You've done great things at a young age, and obviously the colleges came a knocking. One of the things we take care of on the show is trying to get kids recruited and noticed. Talk about your recruiting experience, Tug. I know there's been some D1 schools that have had interest in you, thrown offers at you, and eventually you've decided to go to Central Arizona, which is unbelievable program down in AZ. Just speak about your entire recruiting experience from kind of the early days right up to when you finally made your decision.
So my first school I talked to was University of Washington at grade 9. And I ended up committing there for a little bit until end of grade 10. And then the 2 guys who recruited me ended up leaving. One he's a hitting coach for the Minnesota Twins now with Laurent. And the other guy is a pitching coach at Arizona State University. And I just wanted to stay true to myself. They were the 2 reasons why I wanted to go to that school. And when they left, I thought it was best for me to just open my recruitment back up again. And then the history behind Central Arizona at a junior college level is insane, especially for pitchers. Pro scouts at all games. History of just winning national championships, competing for a national championship. Couldn't beat it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think I looked at the rankings the other day, and I believe they're 27-0 on the season this year. So,
Yeah.
yeah, pretty unbelievable program. You know, it's interesting, Doug, that you talk about coaches leaving a program, committing early, and then having them move on. That's something I don't think many Canadians understand. There's a lot of early commitments. There's a lot of guys that make verbal commitments, and
Yeah.
at the end of the day, when coaches leave, it really does kind of change the whole dynamic about what you were originally thinking about.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, those two guys were the reason you went there. So good on you for deciding, hey, it's time to open myself back up. And then you found another great fit,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah. For sure. It was also one of the big worries too is like if the new recruiter comes in and he doesn't like what I do, and he could just pull your scholarship right away. I just didn't want to go through that.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine anyone not liking a lefty that has the kind of stuff that you have for sure. I got to ask about the name tag. For us in Alberta, those who met you since you came to Alberta, that's all we've ever known you as. When did it start? How did it come about?
Uh, so my dad's best friend back back in BC, Vancouver. I think it was we were still using pitching machines, and after every game we do base races. And I was running around the bases. They just that's how it came. Tugboat. I was tugging the whole team around. I guess I don't know.
It's endearing, man, and it fits, right? It's something
Yeah,
that kind of like I said, everybody in Alberta that's met you since you came, that's all they know you as. So
yeah,
I'd be surprised that if a handful knew your name was Matt.
no, yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit more about sort of the dogs program because I know you're surrounded by incredible coaching, incredible players, other arms that you can challenge yourself against. I believe there's 14 D1 commits currently in the program, and again, the type of travel that you do with this group. Just speak about how much the dogs program has impacted your development and how it's eventually led to the great signing at Central Arizona.
It's helped me a lot. It's definitely pushed me a lot because just seeing other pitchers do very well, it's almost like a huge competition. But at the end of the day, we're all on the same team. We're all fighting for trying to be the best we possibly can, and it's not it's pretty easy when you see guys throwing high 90s and you're like, no, low 90s, sorry, and you're like, dang, I want to be like that too. So you just got to push yourself a lot harder, and yeah, it's just we all push each other every day, day in and day out, and it's been a lot of fun so far.
Yeah, no question. How about some of the names that maybe wouldn't necessarily be known, the guys that you've looked up to in your early years with the dogs, and now guys that continue to push you as you're into your senior years with the dogs?
For sure. One of them is Graham Bruner, as well, LaRon Smith. Those guys. Graham was the ace when I first got on the black team in grade 10, and I just looked up to him, just the way he went about himself, the way he carried himself, and how he handled through tough situations on the mound. And LaRon, same sort of thing. He was just a hitter. Just he carried himself very well, especially as senior, having all those scouts all over him, playing Team Canada and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And then in the academy right now, Simon Lugisman, Lusingen, Boston Workton, they're all D1 commits. We'll both be on Team Canada this year. It's awesome. We push each other every day, and it's awesome to be a part of.
yeah, for sure. And what about the coaches that continue to push you, Doug?
Yeah, due to Hollick and Bow, they love to push us. They love to challenge us. They love to get the best out of us, and it helps us a lot for sure.
Yeah, he must have been excited for Graham as he just signed with Wichita State University, I saw.
Yeah, for sure. I was really happy for Graham.
Yeah, no doubt. And those around this program certainly got to see him on the bump for the college team back when we were allowed to watch the college team play. He had a pretty good season in 19 when they won the WCBL title.
Yeah.
What about your goals for this coming year, Tug? It's interesting. I'd love to get your perspective on reclassing. I know a lot of the guys did it as a result of COVID, obviously, but was that the only driving factor for you reclassing, or did you just feel like you needed another year at this level before heading off to your college career?
Yeah, it was mostly just the COVID year. The reason why I reclassed is because I called my college that I'm going to, and I said, how many pitchers are returning? And he said a lot. He said a decent amount of pitchers are returning, and I said, okay. And I called Duda, Hollick, and Val, and they said, yeah, it wouldn't hurt to stay one more year, and it's helped me out a ton. It's made me a better pitcher, better person, for sure.
Yeah, what were the things you felt like you needed to work on to get to the next level?
I cut a lot of weight last year throughout the fall and winter. Cut down 63 pounds it was.
Wow, good for
Yeah.
you.
And I've already seen a lot of improvement. My velo's popped since then. Mentally, I'm a lot stronger now as well. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Do you feel like your stuff plays at the college level now?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. It's I'm sure you got a good taste of it when you guys went on that West Coast swing, and you probably saw guys taking the bump that you could match yourself up against and
Yeah.
see where you stood for sure. And man, it's a different game down there. And interesting that the Dogs have had so much success playing in tournaments in the South. Again, with high school guys against potential college guys down there, and it always amazes me how well you guys do every time you cross the border and go play in tournaments down south.
Yeah. We've been pretty fortunate with that.
Yeah, for sure. And it'd be nice if they would open the border so you could get a couple tournaments in before
Yeah.
college life begins. What's the schedule looking like for you getting down there? When do they expect to see you and get all organized and head off to your next phase of life?
I report August 15th, and that's when like I have to be down there. I think school starts on the 20th. So I have 5 days to kind of get into it. I think baseball starts on the 15th.
Oh wow, right away.
Yeah, so for sure, and then hopefully get the college season in this year. But if not, then if baseball's canceled up in Alberta, I think I'm going to go down to Arizona and play with my old coach. Only if baseball in Alberta doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's starting to look more and more like there'll be something, and I
Yeah,
know
that's what I'm
it's
hoping.
exciting for you guys because they're the WCBL is going to have academy guys
Yeah,
playing this year, which has got to be pretty exciting for you to
yeah,
tow it up on Siemens Stadium.
yeah. It is. It's going to be exciting to do it again.
Yeah, no doubt, buddy. It's we don't know what we're going to see for fans, and if any, and hopefully some, because I know the experience of playing at Seaman in front of a full house is a very, very special one for sure.
Yeah.
Um, what about Team Canada, Tug? Is that something that drives you, and the thought of potentially playing for our national team, pulling the maple leaf over your shoulders?
Uh, I can't play in the junior national team anymore because I'm too old.
Oh,
But
okay.
someday, if I ever get a chance to, if they ever get a phone call to play in the Olympics, I'm for sure gonna do it. But I still got a long way ahead of me. But it's definitely a goal of mine.
Yeah, it's probably a goal of everyone that
Yeah,
toes it up in this side of the border, and it'd be exciting for sure. Greg Hamilton is another legendary guy, and I'm sure you've met him through showcases and such. And that Team Canada program is evolved into something very special, and we've had many dogs head off and play for them. Um, have you thought about the heat in August in Arizona, Tug? And what are your thoughts about playing in 100 degrees?
uh, it's not. I don't know. It's good, but it isn't good at the same time. I don't know. Like, gotta drink a lot of water. That's all I can say.
Yeah, you definitely got it. It's a dry heat.
Yeah, it's not like Florida for sure.
Yeah, it is different, and but I never really thought about you starting in August because you think of heading down to school, September, October. It's pretty nice down there, but August, man, whoo, you're gonna see
Yeah,
some You see some big time, big time heat for sure.
Yeah.
Um, what about thinking about potentially the draft at some point? Is that something that drives you, or is it something in the back burner for now? You just want to get on with the college thing, or do you think about playing at the pro level one day?
I for sure think we're playing at the pro level one day. Yeah. It's always been a goal of mine as a kid, and just got to keep chasing my dream.
Yeah, for sure. It's just about hard work. And what do you think you need to do to put yourself into the conversation of some of the draft boards out there? What area of your pitching do you need to improve most?
Uh, Quite honestly, my pitching, I think it's pro level, but it's just my body. And as soon as I get down to Arizona, it's known as a running school. I know my weight's gonna drop, and hopefully after 2 years there, I don't have to go on to another school.
Yeah, especially if you're running in 110-degree heat. There's no question you're going to shed even more weight for sure.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
you know what, Tug? I would agree. I think that your stuff already is clearly pro level. A couple miles an hour more wouldn't hurt in the
Yeah, that's
velo,
for sure.
but
Yeah.
you locate it well. Your slide piece is dirty, as I mentioned, and having hard sink on 90 from the left side, it plays at any level.
Hmm.
No question about it. And changing speeds, again, that becomes more and more important for someone that doesn't throw 99.
Yeah.
And then we're seeing it at a guy like Hyunjin Ryu for the Jays. What a great example of a guy that throws 90 and is an all-star, competes for the Cy Young every year by simply mixing it up and locating and changing speeds.
Yeah, that's for sure. I think I could almost compare myself to a guy like him,
Yeah,
or a Mark,
absolutely.
or a Mark Burley kind of thing.
Yeah, interesting that it it feels like lefties are always considered the crafty ones. What do you think
Yeah.
it is about the left side of the mound being a southpaw that makes that style of pitching different from righties that just try to juice it up and light up the radar gun?
Uh, I'm not too sure, to be honest. Maybe it's because there's not too many of them. I don't know, but like I know most hitters don't like facing lefties. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's weird, right? You
Mhm.
always hear the term crafty lefty. You never hear
Yeah.
crafty righty.
No, not too much. No.
It seems very strange. Although nowadays there's guys throwing 100 from either side of the bump.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But again, that's starting to be a little bit more of the norm, and
Yeah.
guys are finding out a way to hit 100, and there seem to be struggling more with guys like you who
Yeah.
can mix it up, and that's becoming back, wanted and needed at the pro level for sure.
Yeah. For sure. I agree with that.
Awesome, man. Um, Goals for this coming season from a dog's perspective? Are you looking for anything in particular just to play? I'm sure at this point.
Yeah, just to play, and if the college season can happen, to win it, that'd be a goal for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Win another WCBL. That would be awesome. A great
Mhm.
way to sign off an
Yeah,
amazing dog's career.
that's for
Um,
sure.
you know what? It's whatever happens this year, Doug. At the end of the day, it doesn't necessarily matter. We've talked about it. Your stuff plays, and you're such a great guy, hardworking guy, and I know that the future is unbelievably bright for you. So want to wish you all the success in the world, and it's been amazing having you on the show, Tug. Thank you so much for stopping by, and best of luck to you, not only this season, but down at Central AZ in August as you start your incredible college career.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Cheers, buddy. You take care.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tug. Well, there it was, the man they called the Tugboat. What a guy. What a great, great young man. And on to bigger and better things in the very near future. I promise you, friends, we are going to see him in the lights one day because his stuff plays at the very next level and the level beyond that. One day, Tugboat, Matt Wilkinson, will hear his name called in June at the MLB draft. So there's a wrap. Another amazing episode, number 8 in a long list of great ones that we've seen so far. Next week, man, it is as special as we have done so far. I promise you, friends, you're going to want to tune in because we have none other than current MLB All-Star pitcher from the Atlanta Braves and from the YYC, Mr. Michael Soroka, stops by to talk a little ball with Bex. So check it out next Sunday at 5 Eastern, 3 in the Mountains. And as always, thanks a lot for stopping by. We'll see you next week.